Hello everyone. Welcome to our very first pick a card reading on the Summer Sarah channel. I felt very compelled to just start. And I know that many people can probably relate to that there's something that you want to be doing, but you might think, oh, I don't have this. I'm not ready. I haven't practiced. I don't have all the materials. Well, this is your sign, if you've been waiting for it, to just begin. Find things that you have around the house, or just do it even if you don't feel like it's going to be perfect, because I think that's something that paralyzes a lot of us, is that we want things to be perfect. And when they're not, we feel like we can't begin. So this, again, is your sign to start. And in this reading, we are going to be able to choose an oracle card that can be kind of a positive mantra for us. And then we are also using the Mystic Mondays tarot deck, where we will be able to see kind of what you might need to move forward, what's been holding you back, and where you are going to go on your journey. So if you've ever done one of these before, what you will need to do is we'll have a few different piles, and you can choose based on the pile. We can also choose based on crystals. This is just going to be a quick read. There'll be many more coming on my channel. We will also talk about different crystals and things like that, and also how to make and use malas. But for now, we'll just start with a little quick read, since, again, we are just beginning. We are just starting. Let's go ahead and open it on up. Okay, so now that I've gone ahead and shuffled all of our Magic Mondays cards off screen, there are 4 in each pile. Now this is pile number 1, pile number 2, and pile number 3. So go ahead and meditate on it a little bit. You should be feeling drawn to a certain pile. And whenever I do these, I always feel like I second guess myself a little bit. And I think, oh, my eye directly went to this one and it just feels right. And then you kind of have to play the elimination game with the other 2 and kind of see, oh, how would I feel if I picked this pile or this pile? And you'll eventually feel yourself being drawn to one pile or the other. If you feel like feel free to go to the timestamps below to see your reading. And if you feel like you need a little bit more clarity, I'm about to put some crystals on. All right, our crystals are on, and now you should be feeling something. If you feel like you need some time to meditate on this, feel free to pause. And as always, this is a general reading, so just take what resonates with you. If part of it resonates and it makes you think and it helps you feel a little bit unstuck, then this reading is for you. If you feel like it is not resonating for you, feel free to go back and try the other pile that maybe you were fighting internally with yourself about. And if you just aren't resonating with this, then maybe you do not need this reading and you just need to come back at a later time for one that will resonate with you. So without further ado, let's get into pile number 1. All right, pile number 1, you chose the green aventurine. It also looks a little bit like green quartz. This is a really interesting stone. I actually just got it in the middle of a rock pile. And hopefully this represents what you need to hear today. Let's see what your cards are. First, we have the Hermit upright. We have the Knight of Cups upright. We have the Princess of Pentacles upright, and we have the Emperor. Oh my goodness. Okay, pile number 1. Just looking at them right off the bat, I can definitely tell you have a lot going on in your life. And let's just look at them in the order that they came up. So if we're looking at the Hermit, you can see that she is truly all alone. So this could be you've walled yourself off from something, you're feeling very isolated, or perhaps you need to take some time for isolation. It could be either one. And maybe this time for soul searching is where you are going to find another aspect of yourself. Sometimes you have to explore the deepest depths in order to be able to know yourself in ways that you didn't know before, but that doesn't mean that it's easy. It can be incredibly scary. But you've got some other really powerful cards here that I think are going to help get some clarity here. And with the Knight of Cups here, this could either represent romance or just an overall idea and kind of following your intuition. So you've got the Hermit, and this, to me, with these two cards together, kind of symbolizes that you know what you need to do. Deep down, right now, you are thinking of something that you know what you need to do. You either have actual romance coming into your life and someone who is going to really change things up and encourage you to take that plunge, or it is just overall a sign for you right now that it is okay to take that plunge and you are supported in the process, because what you are envisioning and what you are seeking and what you desire is going to come from some of this self-reflection and this isolation. So you need to take the time to really be able to have this vision come to life, and do not be afraid of it, because you have quite a lot of abundance coming your way with the Knight of Cups. And really, it's interesting that the Knight of Cups is coming with the Hermit, because cups represent kind of an inner directed, reflective relationship with yourself, also outward relationships with others, and just those emotions, creativity, and intuition. So again, just by seeing these two cards, that you kind of deep down know what these might be about, and we'll get some clarity over here with the Princess of Pentacles. She kind of represents a very feminine energy and represents the earth, some security, stability, and represents sometimes some practical concerns, maybe having to do with property or money, or is this really what I should be doing? And she is telling you to make your dreams a reality, that you have a clear vision in your mind right now after thinking about these two, and you can actually make it happen. You can start setting those things into action. And I love that this is pile number 1 for this particular reading, and it almost makes me feel like I am on the right path, and I really am glad that I chose to do this reading today, because it is validating me as well. So I hope it's giving you some validation. I think a lot of times what I'm getting is that you wonder if you are on the right path, and you wonder if you are one of those people that can just make things happen and kind of just have things come to you very easily, because I think you've been feeling very stuck, and you haven't been having things come to you as easily, and you've been running into a lot of barriers. And I think now is your time. You have taken the time to really have that isolation and get that vision. And the Princess of Pentacles is telling you that you have the ability to do this, but be practical about it, because it's easy to get lost and caught up in these dreams. And just remain grounded. Take the steps that you need to take, and you are not someone who is just going to jump into this and willy-nilly make mistakes or anything like that. You will take the necessary steps to approach this new adventure as a learning opportunity, and you are going to take this potential and allow yourself to grow. It is your time to grow. It is your time to follow the light, and you are going to be moving into a new stage of your life after you have taken this time of reflection and isolation. And you may have to go back to this isolation. It may not mean that it is completely over, because I think what I'm feeling is that sometimes this is where you get stuck and you want to be here in this abundance. But finding that balance is really hard. So kind of taking that time, being practical about it, and just listening to your intuition, you are going to completely change your life. Okay, so on this last card with the Emperor, things are getting really interesting, because overall, I think you know best kind of what's going on here. This could be a job, this could be a relationship, this could be just any big thing in your life that's really been holding you back and you felt kind of stuck and paralyzed in. But with the Emperor, this is like a take charge kind of card, and having him be upright, it just goes to show that he kind of brings that structure and that stability, the authority, that you have the ability to make these decisive actions and get these accomplishments done. It is hard sometimes when you really want something to kind of maintain that discipline. And so it's that balance of either going really hard or just saying, well, I can't even start it at all because I'm not there. So I think what he's saying in this is there could be a couple different meanings depending on what your intuition is telling you right now. And I'm getting two meanings for this. I feel like it could either be a job or an idea, or it could almost be something having to do with a relationship, because we've got the Knight of Cups and the Emperor here. And if it's a relationship, I feel like maybe you've been alone and you've been single and you've kind of been soul searching for a little while, and you're ready for something new to kind of come into your life, like a more masculine energy. Or if it's just kind of an idea or a job or something that you really feel like you want to get started, I think that he's kind of telling you to embrace your inner strategic thinker, your inner warrior, and do not be afraid to do what you want to do. So all of these cards are really telling you, like, as long as you take the steps and you're not, throwing caution to the wind, you're being a logical thinker, and you're really taking the steps that feel right, then what you are doing is going to be successful, and it is going to be the right step for you. So I hope that these are all signs for you that if you have been feeling stuck in some area of your life, you will know exactly what this means, and I hope it gives you the push to move forward. What is funny is I got the Hermit, the Knight of Cups, and the Princess of Pentacles out first, and then the Emperor really wanted to come out. And the fact that you've got so many, you've got the Emperor and the Hermit, which are the major cards, this feels like it's a pretty big life event. It's not just a day-to-day thing. This is something you've been thinking about for kind of a while. I hope this gives you the push to just do what you need to do and have that inner confidence. And let's go ahead and let's get a super attractor card out, just so you can have something positive to go with this. So what does pile 1 need to know to attract what they need for their future step and what they are going to be doing? What does pile 1 need to know? Okay. So this one really goes with what we're talking about. I release time and let the universe show me what to do. Okay. And this one was actually kind of stuck to it, so I'll give you this one too. When I truly surrender my desires to the universe, a mighty force of faith can set in. So pile number 1, I think this is pretty clear for you. You have the ability and you are ready to take those steps. Just trust yourself, be logical, but still give yourself that freedom to dream and go after what you desire. So if this resonated with you, feel free to subscribe, and I will see you next time. And if this did not resonate as much with you, then take what you felt might work out for you for this particular reading. And if not, feel free. Okay, pile number 2. Let's see what you've got. We had the pink quartz for you. Beautiful. And let's find out what the cards had to say. All right. So pile number 2 for you, we have the 5 of Wands, the 3 of Wands, which I actually wasn't entirely sure about these because they were a little bit stuck together. And I got them at first and kind of put them back in the deck, and then they came right back out again. So pile number 2, you are really supposed to have these wands in your life right now. We also have the High Priestess and the 4 of Pentacles. So let's see what these cards have in store for you and how they can kind of help unblock you and get you moving forward. Okay, so first things first, let's take a look at these wands because they are truly what wanted to come out in this reading, and it was very, very clear to me. So if we just talk about the wands, I'm seeing that this reading is probably something to do with your personal power, your career, passion, something having to do with growth, adventure, confidence, maybe creativity, so an idea perhaps. And I'm really feeling like this is your time where you've had this in the back of your mind and it's time to bring it forward. And the fact that all of these came out upright is very interesting as well. So with the 3 of Wands, it seems a lot like right now you have been able to kind of take a step back and look at what you've been doing and kind of analyze, is this working for me? Do I have the necessary skills to be able to move forward in what I want to do? And it feels like you've had to try to be really strategic. And I think that's getting a little bit exhausting, but it's been a necessary step for you. what is funny about the Three of Wands is that 3 generally kind of represents self-expression, communication, moving forward, and that there's something positive coming to you, but you need to be a little bit purposeful with it and pay attention. So I think what you've kind of been doing is you have been kind of doing, what you normally do on your day-to-day life, kind of thinking about something in the background, maybe an idea, maybe a career change, and you've really been gathering some skills and kind of showing yourself that you can handle certain challenges that maybe you didn't believe that you could have handled prior to what you've experienced. So kind of really taking that bird's eye view of your life and analyzing what you have already gone through so that you can take it and move forward is important with the Three of Wands. And then also with our wands, this does feel like this is something where you have an idea or something creative, something going on internally, personally, that you feel like you want to bring to the surface, but you just haven't had the opportunity, or you haven't felt like it was right. But I think it's just right around the corner, finally, after so long. And what's amazing about this, and I told this to pile number 1 as well, is that these cards really do show growth and moving forward. And that is all about what this reading is about. So again, this is really validating me that I'm glad that I chose to do this reading today, because I wasn't so sure about just starting, but I'm hoping that somebody out there really needed to hear this. So let's talk about the Five of Wands. So the Five of Wands, again, we're talking kind of about personal power, but this one is a little bit less peaceful than the 3. 5 generally represents some change, some instability, maybe some stress, but it doesn't mean that the stress is a bad thing. And you can see here, even with these visuals, you can see that you're kind of hopping from one to the next. They're kind of far apart, but you could still make it. It's a little more peaceful. And these, with the Five of Wands, it's a little more chaotic. You've got lines crossing, you've got things going under and over each other, and it's just a little bit more going on. And there are some things that can't be ignored. So with the Five of Wands, it seems like being seen and heard is what you want in this situation, and you want those things to be able to come to the surface, but you are going to have to kind of stand up for yourself and maybe even help some others along the way. And I think that helping the others along the way may have helped you kind of gain this insight that you needed to be able to make this change, because kind of going through this inner conflict and maybe even outer conflicts. You've just got some conflict going on and you're being pulled in some different directions, whether that's externally by other people, or maybe you are pulling yourself in different directions. Like you can't decide whether it's a good idea or not. Only you can decide what is best for you. So this card is kind of saying you have a lot of things pulling at you. You could go in a lot of different directions, but you've kind of been taking the time to hone the skill. So this is almost kind of like your past and what you've kind of been going through, and then you're going to be able to move forward. So with those 2 wands, you are definitely going to have some movement, some change, some instability. It might feel uncomfortable, but it's necessary. So it's one of those things where if you've ever heard that phrase, if it feels uncomfortable, then you should lean into it and you should follow that. And I'm going to save the High Priestess for last. And I'm going to go over here to the Four of Pentacles. And the Four of Pentacles actually feels to me like we are representing something financial almost, or something that feels extremely valuable to you. So it might not actually be money itself, but it is something of high value. So it seems like you've kind of been saving up this value this whole time that you've been doing this inner work, and kind of, keeping an eye on things, building those skills, and figuring out how to prioritize what you need to prioritize. And the Four of Pentacles kind of represents a little bit of discipline. So taking that discipline, taking that foundation, taking that security, and being able to come into your next situation with some clarity. So just know that all of this is really telling me that you are prepared to move forward. And this has been a long journey for you. So this might be something where you need to take a sigh of relief and you will have to buckle down at times, but you are headed in the right direction and you are ready to make those moves that you have been thinking about for quite a while. Also with the Four of Pentacles, that can kind of tell you to not be afraid to enjoy what you have created. So take that time to rest and be able to just rest and reflect, and that way it will just help you to continue this pattern of moving forward and not feeling quite so stuck ever again, because you've really been going through it. And I think that from now on you're about to break a cycle where you won't be so stuck anymore. Okay, let's take a look at the High Priestess. And there's a reason that I saved her for last. So the High Priestess is really going to ask you to listen to your inner voice. She represents a lot of inner knowing and kind of this collective wisdom to be able to guide you toward what you are needing to go toward, and just representing that intuition that maybe you've questioned and maybe you felt like things were not lining up, but she is really telling you to trust your gut, because it is going to lead you into the right place and get you the right answers. The thing about her, though, is that you can't force it. So there's a little bit of patience in this spread, that you're going to need to be patient, and you are going to need to look inward, which can be hard because I know we're always all looking for outward signs. Maybe this is your sign. But you are going to need to look inward and take that intuition and really let that feminine energy kind of connect to what you are trying to do. So let those ideas expand. Let yourself, your inner knowing, tell you when these things are right. So again, this one is quite a bit of balance. You're taking everything that you've learned. It has been pretty complicated, but you really have the freedom to be able to know that you are headed in the right direction, and kind of the universe has got your back. You might even see something in your dreams. Sometimes we see with the High Priestess different dreams and things that she represents. So looking at if you might wake up and you feel like you had a particularly crazy dream, writing it down just so you don't forget what you dreamed about, because we lose that so quickly when we wake up. Kind of then you can go back and reflect on it and see if maybe that dream gave you any clarity either way. So overall, pile 2, you will be moving forward. You've been feeling kind of stuck, and just take those tools that you've learned and trust yourself. And pile 2, let's see if we can get some positive super attractor mantras for you to kind of help you move forward. All right, let's see. What does pile 2 need to know to be able to move forward? Okay. So we have, when I'm grateful for what I have, I can feel good along the way for what I desire, which really does go with what we kind of have been talking about. And let me give you one more. We've got, when I am tuned into the energy of abundance, I become abundant. So really, I think this reading for this pile has a lot to do with taking your past, taking what you've learned, and being grateful for it. And you will be moving into the future very quickly. If any of this resonated with you, please feel free to subscribe, and I'll see you again soon. If part of this resonated with you, I'm happy that maybe that's what you needed. And if none of this is really feeling like what you wanted, feel free to go choose a different pile or come back another time, because maybe this reading just wasn't for you. Okay, pile number 3. Got some red jasper up there, so I have a guess of where we might be going for you. Let's see what cards we have for you today. All right, we have Temperance. Oh, we have the 9 of Cups. We have the Magician and the 2 of Swords. Okay, so pile number 3, I am immediately feeling definitely a different vibe than what I felt for the first 2 piles. You definitely have something going on here. You have something, like a very strong energy. So I'll talk about Temperance first. So Temperance, the fact that we have Temperance and the Magician in here, some major cards, it's definitely telling me that 2 out of the 4 being major cards, this is something that has really been weighing heavily on you for a while, and you are feeling like you need to just kind of like burst out of this and get some change. The other 2 piles, I feel like there was a little bit of a slow build, and yours just feels a little bit more explosive. So I think with Temperance, just kind of that patience. You either have had it for such a long time now that you are getting to the point where you're like, all right, where is this going? I'm ready. Like, let's get going. Or it is something that you need to work on, or both, because often patience is the absolute hardest thing to have in life, and really being able to choose and kind of value that foundation, that step-by-step building that is going to get you to a place where you're going to be free from the anxiety and stress that waiting can bring you. So I think that no matter what's going on around you, just kind of trying to take that high road is either something that you have done or something that you have yet to do, and you're really working on it. And just being able to fuel kind of that inner creativity and that idea that you have, or the change that you're trying to make. Patience has been a huge part of it, and just trying to get that balance. The 9 of Cups, you can see that on this artwork, you can even see a heart. So I almost wonder if this has something to do with something that is either really going to fill your heart and make you happy, or even a possible relationship. It almost feels like it could be either. And I feel like we need some more clarity with the other cards, but I feel like this is going to happen soon. Again, the other ones were very slow build, but yours, this is happening extremely soon. And the fact that it's 9 of Cups kind of symbolizes that it's a little bit of the ending of a cycle. And you have gained this wisdom that you need to gain in order to go to this next level. It's one of those, your wish is about to be granted. It's almost like the genie, your wish is my command, and that you are about to be graced with a lot of abundance. You're reaching that completion of the goal or the idea, or just the bar that you've been trying to reach for quite a while. And there's balance. I think that this is the balance you've been waiting for kind of a while, and you can kind of take that sigh of relief and kind of pivot into your next steps. And it feels like you're getting that satisfaction and fulfillment that you have been waiting on, that maybe other people have been getting around you, but you haven't really been seeing yourself. But you have been working so incredibly hard for this. So I think this card is telling you it is time to treat yourself. It is time to kind of party it up and say, all right, I've made it. I have reached the goal that I've been trying to reach for such a long time. And even if it's not here yet, it is coming so incredibly soon. I feel like it is on the horizon, and you are going to see it far sooner than you would have imagined. Let's take a look at the 2 of Swords before we get to the Magician. But the Magician, it kind of goes with the 9 of Cups as well. But I want to get those swords. I think that's going to give us a little bit of clarity here. So with the 2 of Swords, it kind of feels like you have been struggling to make a little bit of a decision. You might have had a partnership or a union, or something business related or relationship related that you feel like has been kind of frozen. It's been at a standstill. And I told the other 2 piles this, and I will tell you as well, that these cards really do feel like we are making that decision. We're getting out of that paralysis that you feel like you've been kind of in, or that you've been trying to build your way out of brick by brick for a while now. And this is just some validation. I feel like I was meant to do this reading, and I hope that this resonates with at least one person out there. And it kind of gives you that relief that you have made it. You are on the right path, and that paralysis is about to go away, and it's going to be something very fluid and explosive at the same time. So you've been trying to kind of figure this out for kind of a while, and you've been gathering some information and weighing some pros and cons. And I think that you know exactly what you need to do with this one. Kind of that crossing of swords, and just being able to just make the decision that has been needed for kind of a while. And you're there. You have grown enough, and you are about to kind of be able to make that decision. Swords often have to do with like communication or analysis. So you've really been doing some thinking here, and it's time. You've been thinking, you've been patient, and now it is time for kind of the fruit of all of your labors. So let's check out the Magician, because I think that she is really going to bring this all together for us. And the Magician is card number 1 in the deck, and it's really just saying, like, you've got the spark. You are going to be able to create what you need to create. You are starting a new cycle in this creative time that you're in, and you have all of the tools. You have everything that you could ever need. And if you don't feel like you have it right now, the tools are coming, and you don't even have to like take the time to create them yourself. The universe is just kind of going to drop them in your lap, and you're going to have a lot of ease in what you're about to do. So you've learned to kind of manifest these things, and you've learned how to make it happen for you without kind of trudging through the mud like you have. So things are really going to start to open up for you, and just be purposeful about your intentions and how you want to use them and where you want to go. So if there's something that you're thinking about right now that you really want, that you've kind of been really feeling passionate about, but you haven't taken that leap of faith, just be specific, magnetize all of that energy, and you've got the spark, you've got the abundance, you've got the patience and the balance, and you have analyzed this to a T. You have the tools and you're ready. So it is time to kind of claim that energy. Let's get you some super attractor mantras to kind of help you get that coming to you very, very soon. And something tells me that you don't even really need these ones, but I'm going to see if we can get one for you anyway. Let's see what we can get for you. Oh my goodness. Okay. So we got these 2 for you. So the first one says, I accept that good things come easily. I am a super attractor, and I let the universe catch up with my dreams. So this one, again, like, this looks so explosive. This is how I'm feeling about this reading, is that you are about to just kind of explode into a new era of life, and that you are that super attractor. And this one, the universe really is having to catch up with you, because you have kind of launched yourself, or you're about to launch yourself into a new phase of life. So overall, I hope a little bit of this resonated with you. If it did, please subscribe and come back for another reading later. If a little bit of it resonated with you, I'm glad. I hope that was the sign that you needed. And maybe if you didn't get exactly what you needed, come back another time, because this reading may not have been meant for you. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you later.